Okay, let's see if I am live and everything is working just fine. This is the 144K Mass Meditation, a huge one and a huge opportunity for massive breakthroughs and change and rapid planetary liberation. This is your loving servant, the unknown light warrior, coming to you live. And let's get ourselves comfortable and fully ready. Most of you will have your favorite beverage ready to go. Make sure you have your water, everything else for that matter. And once the thumbs up arrives, we will definitely get started, because there's a big timing issue with this one, clearly. And of course, welcome to all new and old faces. Wonderful to see everyone here. Awesome, lots of new and old faces. Really wonderful to see you all here. And we are really going to make waves here. And I really mean that. Alrighty, fantastic. And once people that will show up have finished showing up, or once the logging on, what's the term I'm looking for here? The ticking over of number of participants on my screen, once that stops, I don't know, everyone that can arrive has arrived, and we will get started. Pardon me. So this is eclipses are a huge opportunity. They channel or funnel, I like to say, very special, kind of rare, opportune energies that, if there's a conscious intervention involved, it turns an opportunity for a huge timeline change and huge removals from a 5 all the way. The dial turns over from a 5 all the way to an 11 in terms of opportunity for change. But as always, active participation from the physical waking hours plane is needed. Only for, an hour or two. And then the life forces, both on-world and off-world, continue with the 24/7 side of planetary liberation, because we need to do something called survival and maintenance here on the physical plane as civilians. All right, the live stream recording has apparently started. So I can't say much about what we're going to do, because we're going to be doing a rather sensitive, with a capital S, procedure. And I can't say much more than that until we're at a much safer place And let's just say, kind of like when Luke started using the Force and then Darth Vader just couldn't get a proper aim on him all of a sudden in that climactic scene of the first Star Wars movie, when you had to get those 2 photon torpedoes right on the kisser to blow up the Death Star. And what we're going to be doing is not far off from that in terms of importance and relevance. And effect on change. Alrighty. So we're all ready to start. Let's begin the process of, again, for the sake of, if you're new, I'll be using all sorts of terminology designed to hack or bypass the insanely rigid so-called adult mind, better described as incredibly programmed adult mind. You'll be supported and invited to engage and move into the right hemisphere of your brain to remove all limitations. Where everything you can imagine is, quote unquote, is real. And everything you're looking at right now, whether it's your computer, your phone, the wall in front of you, that's the fake part in the literal sense. So it's as if we have to reverse the conditioned programs of the left hemisphere brain and adult mind. The so-called secrets to moving energy and altering reality. Let's make it happen. Let's fulfill our responsibilities, roles, and purpose. Alrighty. Begin the process as a word hack of losing yourself in the now in order to step outside of linear time. Linear time is not your friend by any stretch. So get out of linear time, lose yourself in the now, or forget about linear time, whatever verbiage hack you need to use to bypass the left hemisphere brain completely. And the now, the deeper you go into it, that's your portal access to your higher self, your soul, effortless, intuitive, and psychic seeing abilities, visualizing, and visuals do not at all have to be perfect. Faint or abstract work just as fine. Just ask any professional remote viewer. As you continue to harmonize and unify with the 144K in this sacred, energetic now moment, harmonizing with everyone else that has raised their hands and stepped forward. A big congrats to all of you in North America. And see yourself in a gigantic crystal ball Again, if you're new, we're going to be taking this step that effectively begins the meditation to enlist, well, long story short, to multiply the power and impact of this mass meditation by a minimum of 100 and be in a more protective place. Where, Darth Vader can't shoot at us. All right. It's a smooth, kind of dark-toned, translucent crystal ball. And near the equator on the inside, you see the golden light bodies. The essence, the consciousness. In energetic manifest form. That's more real than the chair you're sitting on. What the programmed left hemisphere brain thinks of that is irrelevant. And that's the way reality works. Let's call in Gaia. Once again, if you have your own relationship, connection with Gaia, as many goddesses do, you can call her in your own way. Otherwise, listen along and hold the intent. Authentic Gaia, we call upon the one true authentic goddess, Gaia. Please be here with us right here, right now. See Gaia in the center of this dotted golden ring that is all of us and the crystal ball. And remember the golden rule when it comes to seeing reality, otherwise known as psychic seeing or visualizing. Do it before the left hemisphere brain has a chance to even think. You've got about 3 seconds. It's all instantaneous. The less you try, the easier it is. Really utilize the right hemisphere of your brain that connects you to non-linear truth and high realities. Again, it's the access point to your higher self. You're here to use it so that your incarnation is not a waste. That certainly doesn't interest me at all, speaking for myself. Adore and admire. The white polar ice caps, the white clouds over the blue oceans of Gaia. Alrighty, and now we're going to start to move up the layers of this universe which holds some false realities, not just dimensions and densities, but false realities. We start moving through them. You notice the first few, from the inside, it appears as, just white, horizontal, bright lines on the outside that go from top of the crystal ball down to the bottom. And like racing up an elevator, we move through them now. And all you see is that soft, therapeutic flickering of light through the translucent walls of the crystal ball. Everything you can imagine is real when you project a consciousness from the physical to the non-physical, those quantum waveform particles localize into whatever you visualize. As Morpheus said to Neo, welcome to the real world. I don't make up the rules, but we have to work with them, utilize them to transform a world, an omniverse, amazingly enough, as this is a Nexus planet of all Nexus planet, believe it or not, if you're new. As always, you don't have to see things perfectly at all. Faint images work just as well. Breathe deeply and slowly through your nose as we race up the levels, membranes, in some cases false AI overlays, false realities. Of this universe. And now for a quick lateral move before we leave this universe. Next to Gaia, see a perhaps indigo toroidal sphere. Well, it's basically a sphere, but you can make out the toroidal aspect of it. That is this universe. We're taking this universe up with us. Hold your intent to take the real true blue universe. This is a Nexus universe with the very unique phenomena referred to as physicality. That's unique to this universe. And we need to tactically use that interesting experiment known as physicality. That's here to be utilized as part of the very experimental, unique project of corralling all dark back to the light. But the primary focus being on Gaia. And if you have any personal guides that you consciously work with, you can go ahead and call them in now. And kind of meditate on this vision. Alrighty. Look down at your feet. over to your left and right and see the next few 144K members. Flickering light in the background. And take that last glance at Gaia. And all of a sudden, everything goes bright white. It's so bright you have to squint your eyes. And the bright white, as we're reaching and moving through the last thick outer boundary of this universe, hence the brightness. And we're through. And you see a big ball of light that is the universe that we just left beneath us. Rapidly turn into a small ball of light. And we rise above an ocean of small balls of light. That is all the other universes in this portion of this multiverse. And that all turns into the multiverse turns into a ball of light. And we rise above an ocean of multiverses because we simply play big. Because we have to. And that all shrinks. Into nothingness as we continue to rise to a extremely sacred place. A very primordial place. As Carlos Castaneda would say, there are many rooms inside this mansion. We're rising above the whole mansion and estate, to say the least. Now shift a bit of focus on Gaia and that holographic toroidal sphere next to her. That is this universe. Enjoy the extreme stillness. And look at and feel the oneness, togetherness with your other 144K long lost comrades since and probably before Atlantis. While I finish up on certain protocols, as we continue to rise to managers of multiverses. Authentic hide, we call upon the one true authentic light beings the hide. Please make sure we go to you when knowing us true hide. Take your last glance at Gaia. And you look up and you see a single point of white light through the roof of the crystal ball, slowly getting bigger and bigger. Pardon me. Brighter and brighter until it begins to light up the whole roof of the crystal ball. We're still approaching it. And we finally reach it. we come to a sudden, yes, somehow gentle stop, and we slowly, lovingly, gently move through this platform of light as it begins to envelop and converge at the bottom. Closes at the bottom, opens up at the top at about the same time. Rising above. And the whiteness kind of shrinks, converges at the bottom center of the crystal ball on the outside, of course. And it kind of disappears, actually. And now we form a straight line behind and a little above Gaia. Standing in unity, solidarity, together. You are not alone, you are together. All right, now the crystal ball peels nice and slowly from the top center. All the way down, nice and slowly, to allow for all of this energetic decompression to be a little gentler, as this is super high frequency of light, but still subtle, very subtle, because the more further away any given light being is in terms of density, the more subtle their energy is. So for you non-sensitives, such as myself, it takes a few minutes to begin to feel them. For you sensitives, you just have to hold on to your chair as the crystal ball peels evenly all the way down. And disappears at that bottom little convergence point, for lack of a better term. All right. And now for a really kind of real moment. I'm not going to say spiritual, even though it is. Really, and this is powerful, not just blissful, really go deep, but aware. Still conscious, kind of like from alpha state to theta state, as far as brain waves are concerned. But instantaneous at the same time. Again, this is outside of linear time. Look and feel and see these light beings. See, look, and feel what they feel like. As always, the left hemisphere brain will mold an image into something that's understandable for it, that you have a reference point for. So you may simply be seeing these managers of multiverses that only intervened very recently in this universe on behalf of Source. Very translucent. Now feel with your whole body, not just your conscious mind, their unique energy to establish your own connection. And just being up here with them cleanses your auric field. Hence the report of many people feeling lighter at the end of a 144K mass meditation. And kind of be in this moment. Be. Forget about everything else, especially linear time. Be here in the now. To transcend everything, especially mind or program limitations. And feel what they feel like. Remember to breathe deeply through your nose. Authentic God, can you please send us a massive wave of your energy to an undeniable, unmistakable, physical level. And now, as you look at them, just hold a bit of background consciousness on usually the center of your head initially, if you're a non-sensitive. Or that subtle little pulse of a unique energy. Okay. And it's okay if you don't feel anything, especially if you're new, because this is way outside our regular spiritual paradigm reference points. Because the 144K is all about going beyond what the mind knows, what consciousness level we're at. Fundamental to changing the world and realizing our freedom and galactic first contact. Some of you, especially if you're sensitive, you may feel your aura being cleansed. Just bits of garbage and thought form just softly turning white and just melting away. And if you're, I don't know, the US, let's just release symptoms. As they cleanse away. Alrighty. Authentic God, please send us a massive wave of your energy so we can truly feel you at the heart level. Engage the heart. And now have a bit of background attention. On the center of your heart. Of course, you may feel that subtle little pulse on your sternum sometimes, for many of us. Again, what we're doing has already effectively begun the mass meditation, in case for anyone who's new. Be here. Because your consciousness already is everywhere. Remember to breathe deeply and slowly through your nose as you simply look and be here. Through the portal known as the now. As you masterfully engage and utilize the limitless right hemisphere of your brain through its operating system, referred to as so-called imagination. There's no such thing. It's just a higher form of consciousness. Alrighty. Return some attention back to either your guides or Gaia before us, while I quickly complete the protocols and setup process to transform a world. And then end this nonsense so much quicker. Call upon the infinite arm with the authentic amalgam of the Oberon lineage. They appear in ships, while white discs beneath us. I call upon the elders of the amalgam. I call upon the team of beings that created this universe and the unique phenomena known as physicality, as the ultimate last-ditch experiment, really, of corralling the dark back to the light. That presents itself as one man. You can see him as a golden being of light over on the other side of Gaia. Now repeat after me, everybody. I call upon all of my higher density levels. Higher self. See him or her next to Oberon, perhaps on the other side of Gaia. Repeat after me. I call upon my authentic soul. And see it as a bright star just up above the hod. Repeat after me. I call upon my authentic oversoul. And even before you finish saying it, you see a bigger ball of light, perhaps in a different color for the sake of differentiation, behind your soul, way up in the distance up above. And lastly, repeat after me. I call upon my authentic I am. And see an even bigger ball of light back to white behind your oversoul. Look at them. Connect. Extremely powerful to consciously unify all aspects of you, all levels of you, all the way up to your I am, your first point of individuation from source. You want multidimensional action? Well, this is what it looks like. Alrighty. Authentic heart, authentic legion of light. There is Gaia. Here is the 144K. Here is the universe. Please take us to the space and place of omnipresence. Now, hold a little bit of attention on your I am, that's fundamentally omnipresent, and on Gaia. And all of a sudden, everything goes bright white. As we are taken to omnipresence to multiply the power and effect of this mass intervention by another 100. Alrighty. It's very bright. You have to squint your eyes once again. This is intense energy. Fully unleash so-called imagination. And the bright light disappears. Everything looks the same. We henceforth work from omnipresence. Alrighty. Now I'm going to say a few things to kind of galvanize and clarify focus. So kind of through intent and looking at the teams, at a minimum, the height and your I am, that's enough. Kind of convey, relay what I'm about to say. Or echo it, for lack of a better term. Authentic height. Authentic I am collective. Authentic I higher self collective of the 144K. Authentic Oberon. There is Gaia. There is this universe. It is February 17th, 2026, into the space-time location. We have not reached the timeline, and not enough light has reached the surface for first contact for starseeds here on the physical plane who are ready for first contact or to receive direct frequencies from positive off-world nations and organizations. We ask that you remove all hidden matrix illusions and overlays, false realities, and all the machinery and technologies behind them. The February 17th annular solar eclipse is upon us. A window of opportunity, a portal of opportunity. We ask for a night and day difference in timelines and energies down to the physical surface. We request the restoration and uncovering of the real source, reality, and 3D constructs. To the actual eclipse. Thanks. So that's 20 minutes. Yes. All right. Now, keep on paying attention. At your soul over soul and I am. And hide. That's enough. Feel within your heart the intent to fully maximize your potential in terms of intervention. Tune into that critical step where you intervened per your soul purpose at the right moment. That shifted everything. Now, while you have the HOD and your I am, again, at a minimum, within your consciousness and vision to a degree, show you know those matrix codes in the movie? Show them that. And show them Gaia with all these matrix codes going through them. While I show them certain things. Because it's a case of show and tell for them to access certain things and fulfill requests through us. And now look up at your soul, over soul and I am. Feel them and just hold the intent or request. Fulfill my soul purpose on this eclipse. You can verbalize it. Hold that intent with as you're looking at them. while I show them certain things that are difficult to verbalize. Some of you may be feeling your sternum a little bit, or heart center in some cases. That's because there's stuff being worked on. And if you feel anything, positive or negative, show that to the HOD in particular. So the real secret sauce in changing reality is being able to be present with the teams for them to receive your requests and what you ask to be worked on. That's where the real work actually is. And just say, feel this, see this. Show and tell is critical. It's going to start to get action-packed pretty soon. Take a deep breath through your nose. Lose yourself in the now. The inner world creates the outer world. We all know that. lot is about to be revealed. Yeah. Almost there. Okay, now show them your intent of telepathic or physical clairaudient contact with your galactic family. Or imagine that happening in your living room, in your front yard, wherever. Live it, breathe it. And show it to them so they can scan and clear the way for it, whatever stands in the way of that. And show it to them if you haven't already. Both to your I am, oversoul, soul, high self, the heart at a minimum. Show it to them through a mixture of holding a relaxed, faint vision of them whilst imagining at the same time. Don't have to get it perfect. It can all be done in a split second for them to pick it up. They're already working through Gaia. All right. Okay, repeat after me, everybody. Authentic I am presence of I. Authentic over soul and soul. Authentic HOD and guides. Through me and my energy field now. Completely scan at all levels. Throughout the entire visual spectrum. All technologies and overlays. And dark consciousness that construct false realities. Throughout Gaia and all that is. And safely disentangle all of humanity from all quantum entanglement, with all darkness, down to the physical surface level. Alrighty. Alrighty. Now, see Gaia. Let's put her in a quarantine sphere of your color, of your choice. But we're going to focus on the universe. This universe, that indigo toroidal sphere with that divine little cosmic central sun spark in the middle of it. 3 minutes to the eclipse maximum. Now use your I am and omnipresent nature, natural omnipresent nature of your consciousness. Be limitless for real. And do, simply do. It's instantaneously before you get a chance to think or try. That's right, it takes courage if you want freedom. You can do it. You're being loved and protected. Far from alone. All that is rooting for us in a big way. Do, don't think. See, up above, even your I am, even the HOD, see a magenta kind of cloud all of a sudden appear.
That's
The goddess, Aia. Call upon her, pull in a magenta goddess. Which is what ETs see source as, FYI. Pull in a pillar of light through the top column of that central toroidal column of this universe. Authentic, real deal source, no fakery. Pull it down through the central column. into the cosmic central sun in the middle, which is that little star in the center of the toroidal sphere of this universe. Pull it through and out horizontally down into the cosmic central sun, the central sun of this universe, and out horizontally, and see it, this magenta pillar, go through the galaxies that are obviously closest to the cosmic central sun, aka the universe's central sun, and see, it's kind of like those neurons in a brain. That's how this universe looks. Many of you will have seen that image. Or just see this magenta pillar pass through, dart around like a pinball through the central suns of all the nearby galaxies and moving outwards. Teams in the background, they are helping, they are supporting. Lighting everything up, making its way towards our galaxy, racing to the M87 galaxy, to the Andromeda galaxy, and you see the whole toroidal sphere. When you take a glance from that, it all just lights up in this magenta laser-like thing racing towards our galaxy. It passes through the Andromeda galaxy, and now moves through and into the central galaxy, the central sun of our galaxy. And zooms out from there through the spiral arms towards our zodiac, lights up the whole zodiac, okay, moves through the Kuiper belt and races through all the planets, the asteroid field, past all the planets, the asteroid field, and into the sun, past Earth, into the sun. Lights up the sun, resets the sun. It's like this convulsing, outward emanating magenta and golden light. And comes out, past Mercury, past Venus, heading towards the moon. Dark side of the moon, into the moon. There's an explosion of light throughout the moon. See it holographically. And now into Earth. and shift your consciousness, your omnipresent consciousness, to Saturn and Neptune, and see them move into line with this magenta beam of light, and Uranus moving into line. Lighting them up into golden and magenta light. It's all holographic. Everything is mostly empty space. Do, don't think. All right, through the moon and into Antarctica. Into Antarctica, accessing that portal. You can see Earth holographically. Into the core of Gaia. Now focus on the core of Gaia. Magenta pillar into the core of Gaia, uniting, connecting, and now start spreading source essentially, but at the physical level. And slowly start expanding source itself. Okay, so you felt that. Expand. Expand slowly. Lighting everything up on the way through inner Earth. Now hold the intent of removing all technologies. Really, it's in the form of the best way to describe them as far as verbals is concerned, which is not our natural form of communication. Grids, layers of grids. It could be spheres or cubes. This is magic like AI tech. That, as always, mostly concentrated throughout the crust through to the outer atmosphere area. And they exist how do I describe this? Energetically. Well, no, not energetically. Many of you know we only see, I think it's 0.4% of the visual spectrum of the physical plane, courtesy of genetic manipulation. Hold the intent to spread this cleansing light that's still making its way towards the crust, the bottom crust of Gaia. So we haven't even reached the dumb level. Okay, the teams are given the go-ahead. Spread. Predominantly magenta, some golden, through the crust. Hold the intent to dissolve and transmute not just quantum entanglement, but the other 99.6% of the visual spectrum on the physical plane, where all these grids, AI space-time grids that replicate and create and project these false AI, false reality overlays. See this light dissolve them as it expands, as that gold. It's like a golden membrane within an expanding magenta sphere. Dissolve all of this down to the quantum and subquantum level, but throughout the entire 99.6% of the spectrum, of the visual spectrum that we can't see with our physical eyes, we can certainly see with our inner eye. So spread that and dissolving several layers of grids, interconnecting grids. So it's spheres, it's cubes that are in layers that are connected by these dark lines with each other, that are magic-like technologies that create false reality overlays over the real reality. And as always, abstract visualization for your mind to understand works seemingly all the time just as well. So play with a combination of gold membranes and goddess source. Expansion of light, for lack of a better term, okay? Spherical, it may be more than one expanding sphere, moving through the crust, through the surface, through the atmosphere, dissolving layers of these cubes predominantly. You may see triangles, you may see dark grey Merkabas, just to keep things simple, dissolving throughout that layers of it. Just being clear, throughout the, again, that 99.6% of the visual spectrum of the physical plane, all the way from subquantum level to molecular level. And courtesy of the power of your consciousness, when you work through the right hemisphere of your brain, you can go, for lack of a better term, back in time and sort of replay the same thing of this expanding golden, while they're magenta spheres, but with a golden membrane, constantly expanding one after the other from the core of Gaia and dissolving layers and layers of these grids that are interconnected. So little thin black lines connecting to either cubes or triangles or Merkabas. The way a fish net, right, a fishing net, how it connects in those little four corners, kind of like that. And just dissolving, melting, and then expanding from the golden membrane and expanding magenta. Again, it's not far from impossible to verbalize such a thing, because verbal communication is fundamentally not a natural form of human communication. Telepathy is. But trust in your right hemisphere's imagery that's already actually being delivered for you. You just have to catch it within your frame of reference or reference point. And just see layers and layers. Again, abstract representation works just as well. Working through a bottom layer well within the crust of Gaia. You can travel, project your consciousness to any time space you want, because you are omnipresent. You're working with your I am presence. That's why we do things the way we do things. And see, I'm going to use the term fishnet, but they're spherical as always. Just being dissolved by this expanding magenta, that is a magenta spheres, that has this golden membranes, and just expanding and dissolving them one after the other. And play with that image, okay, is the best way I can verbalize. Connect and feel as you're witnessing this. Your I am over soul managers of multiverses, perhaps your guides, feel them sort of within your heart as you do before you get a chance to think, kind of like being more like the witness. Settle in with this. As the codes already came through the moon, the sun and the moon, that's dissolving these very real grids that would overlay a false reality. Several layers of them. So play with the image. Again, you can see, allow yourself to see the occasional micro image of a small portion of these interconnecting grids. Again, like a fishnet. Because we all know, we all have that reference point. And just dissolving. See what image comes to you. It could be very matrixy, electronic. And play. Receive. Take the occasional glance, because you're omnipresent, fundamentally speaking, especially when you're being deliberate about it. Take the occasional glance visually at least two of the HUD on the far side of Gaia when you're zooming out, or hold them in the background of your consciousness. Your I am, hold it in the background of your consciousness as you be, do, and express your light and soul purpose. This is what you're here for. I'm just going to be silent for a few moments so I can really tune in and do my best to guide. Okay. Now zoom out and look at your higher self in visual form. There's gigantic light beings, managers of multiverses. Look at your soul over soul I am. Look at them square in the eye, so to speak, somewhat metaphorically, and repeat after me. How do we make this a success? Resounding success. Actualize potential for full planetary liberation, down to the physical surface, beginning with first contact at the physical level for us starseeds. Beginning with those of us on this mass meditation intervention. All right, some sort of an explosion there. Okay, interesting. Now, in whatever way works for you, again, do, and the image just comes through so-called imagination. We're going to make sure that these reality construct, how do I describe them? Grids, laser grids, okay? There seems to be 6 layers left. As always, mostly concentrated on the surface area at this point. Okay, interesting. Now hold the teams in the background, your I am and HOD at a minimum, in the background of your consciousness. Zoom into the surface area of Gaia in whatever way works for you. Or you can just see a microscope image kind of zoom up or blow up within the quarantine sphere and see a intersecting point of the lower, so within the crust of Gaia, intersecting point of the lowest part of the grid. This is good. I'm getting nerve twitches, so something's getting ruffled up. whether it's a cube or a sphere, or maybe a macabre, not a good one, in one of these intersecting points, it doesn't matter. We all see things per our unique soul, talent, abilities, and purpose. Run with the image that you get. That means that's your particular unique role and job in this critical planetary liberation moment. Teams in the background. And see, again, chances are it'll be a faint image. Light it up with white light, because certain things need specific surgery as extensions of source that we are. Time to be it. Align with it. And see this thing, whatever shape it is, in one of these intersecting points. See it light up, transmute it, see it dissolve, and see white light spread in all four directions. And see it light up all those crisscrossing lines that are in squares, again, like a fishnet. And see it light up and the light spreading. Again, you don't have to see things perfectly at all. Faint images always seem to work just as well and are usually the accurate ones. And you can see the teams in the background, namely the height of your I am. That'll do. And see, again, fishnet, right? Black lines, black square lines intersecting with each other. And the intersection point, seeing whatever shape that you saw. This is all technology. And see it spread. Light it all up and see it, and zoom out, see this light spread out throughout Gaia. So zoom out so you can see all of Gaia and see it spread. And now, it's all instantaneous. Your consciousness already is everywhere. So just run with my verbals with something that's almost impossible to verbalize. So again, use so-called imagination to be the silent witness by stepping aside so your higher self can come through, your I am presence can come through, because it's all at once. That's the best way to verbalize this. Now, that original layer or fishnet, see it melt away, disappear from one end or side of Gaia. See it disappear. Repeat after me. Authentic cosmic central sun race. That's a central sun race of this universe. Authentic intergalactic confederation. Authentic galactic confederation. Authentic galactic central sun races. Intervene through my consciousness and energy field now. Authentic I am presence and HOD. Amplify your energy through me now. Now zoom back into this micro image
of the macro, of these fishnet layers, garbage, and where we were before with those intersecting points, look up, see another layer, light it up, turn it white, and see the white spread throughout the dark grey fishnet kind of structure. See that light up, rise above that, visually speaking, with your omnipresent consciousness, and see another fishnet layer above that, light it up, let go and let God, see another fishnet layer above that, light it up. We're on the surface of the planet now at this point. See another fishnet layer. Light it up. Don't have to see it perfectly at all. That's the beauty of projecting consciousness from the physical plane to the well, in this case to the physical plane, but to another spectrum of the physical plane, so it still has the same effect. Upwards we go, next layer. Teams and your I am and all off-world forces en masse. Hold them in the background of your consciousness to be connected with them. Light it up, next fishnet layer with either cubes or spheres or macabres or triangles, tetrahedrons, in those intersecting points. Light it up. Rise above, next layer, next fishnet layer. Now these are projectors, all right? Each of these layers, I'm going to use the term fishnet from now on. Each layer of these fishnet grids, they project codes, not of source, that then construct so-called reality. Several of them, they're called overlays. The fake reality, right? They have to go. Next layer up, I think there's 3 more, yep. No, 4 more. Again, see it abstract, if needed. Next one, and next one. And now, zoom in to the first layer. Teams in the background, they're omnipresent as well. They'll hide on your I am at a minimum. And see one of those intersecting points just disappear. So we're doing kind of like a repeat, because the physical plane alone, the 99.6% that we can't see, that's still pretty damn vast. Very vast world. So, pardon me. And you can, if you want, see 2 of the HOD on the far end, a intergalactic or universal ship. Chances are it'll look like a sphere up above. Again, I'm already in a situation where I'm trying to describe things and a process that's almost impossible to verbalize. So go with your soul's intelligence. But you got to open up your mind's reference points here and stepping aside and seeing what you see. As long as your intent is clear enough. And hopefully I'll verbalize enough for your intent to be clear enough and galvanized enough. So witness as you go. see one fishnet and the intersecting points, whether it's tetrahedrons or cubes or spheres in the middle, melt, disappear. The next one up. Again, darken backgrounds if needed. Melting away. Next layer up, melting away. So you're sort of opening up holes in these grids or fishnets. Well, I'm just going to use the word all that is at this point. The hydrogen ion, all super advanced high density civilizations are working through our connecting consciousness. It just doesn't work it does work, but much slower. This is the super fast way when they work through active conscious participation and consciousness. They can do things much quicker by projecting and holding our consciousness from the physical to wherever else. It's the ultimate reason why we're here on the surface. Next layer, dissolve. Do it again, repeat. If you've done it already, do it. Dissolve, dissolve, dissolve. Rapid fire. Watch it disappear though, leaving a, indigo background. Get the line in here. We're opening up holes here in the matrix itself. Next layer. And dissolve. Next layer, keep on going. Play, play with the limitless attitude of a child. Utilize the ultimate form of consciousness, referred to by these false AI matrix grids as imagination. That's why it lies the way it lies. Use your imagination to clear. And see these now lit up grids, fishnets, just in one area is fine. Dissolve. It's at least 6 altogether, minimum. Goddess is reborn. I think I can see her rise above from beneath this opening gap of all these layers of fishnets. Repeat after me. Hold some relaxed, non-trying visual in the periphery of your vision of 2 of the hydrogen I am at a minimum. Repeat after me. Authentic I am presence. Higher self. Oversoul. Soul. Authentic HOD. All benevolent off-world races. From the space of omnipresence, work through us now. Dissolve all remaining grids that replicate reality and overlay a false reality. Now, omnipresence, all at once, everywhere at once. And see however many layers. You may be seeing up to a dozen layers. It doesn't matter. In a again, see, all that is basically joining in now. See a tetrahedron or a cube or a sphere, whatever comes, turn it white and disappear, a whole grid disappear, and see from far away, see the whole atmosphere and crust area of Gaia from far away, but you can still see all of Gaia, dark indigo background, with all these grids and intersecting points, these layers of fishnets being lit up. Teams in the background, as best you can, don't have to get it perfect. And see like an expanding, deep, perpendicular hole or column open up throughout these layers of fishnets that are now white, because they're sort of being dissolved, transmuted before they disappear. And this, within the indigo background of Gaia, just open up outwards, expanding whole. All hold the intent on all these layers being cleared. They stretch out to well out the atmosphere and see it spread. Again, you don't have to see it perfectly at all. See it spread. Far away, it'll just look like somewhat translucent layers of white, layers just expanding, exposing the real reality. Expand outwards and feel the depth. Teams in the background as best you can. We're doing well. We're doing well. We're making breakthroughs. Sometimes it takes a while to get into it, for lack of a better term. Expand. So it's mostly a dark sort of indigo background, all of Gaia, including her atmosphere, upper atmosphere, and these mesh of essentially AI technologies, run by dark consciousness. It's not just a case of AI per se. All these grids, layers and layers, removed. Spread around. Halfway, hang in there. We are doing extremely well, because this is not easy, in case you hadn't noticed. Well, for some of you it's easy, because some of you are masters or naturally talented at this sort of thing, which is why you're here. You just need to be directed the right way. All right. And see it come around the other side again. Go with whatever visual comes to you per your unique soul talent and purpose. I know at least a couple of you, let's just say, are engineers. Very technology orientated. This is right up your alley. Just at your higher self level being expressed through your physical 3D consciousness, which is that closing loop needed to fulfill your soul purpose. And see from far away, it now looks like a thick, thick membrane, spherical membrane, just peeling away, dissolving. That's what it looks like from far away. So you can visualize it at the micro level, in detail, as if you're right there, and the macro level from far away. And down the other side, all the way. Closing up on the other side of wherever it is that you started from. All that is, all off-world forces joining in. Thanks to us. They can do so much more, so much quicker and safely. Thanks to us. Conscious physical intervention from the physical plane. That's the only primary missing link at this point. And all closing up disappearing from within the crust, beneath the crust, and then sort of the disappearance of this, at this point, white transmutational light of each fishnet layer. Converging kind of thing at the other end of where you started from. And it all briefly looks like a little thin pillar as it all converges and just races, and the disappearance, for lack of a better term, all these intersecting points and fishnets just races up through the crust, through the surface into the upper atmosphere and disappearing. All right, let me just take care of that in the core of Gaia. If you see anything in the core of Gaia that may have surfaced, transmute it, turn it white. All right. Now, one thing to finish off with. Now, when we pulled in the magenta light, originally through the cosmic central sun of this universe, we pulled in codes, special codes, for the right time at the right place. Or should I say, right now moment. Hold the intent to pull those codes through, so it'll seem like we're repeating something, but not really, because we're going to another now moment. For lack of a better term, again, think at a high level. Think outside your understanding think outside the program of linear time events. So go back to that initial point, that initial now moment where we pulled in that magenta color through the moon, through the sun, through the moon into Gaia, and that was through her core. And it's a magenta sphere, but with a thin golden membrane. Veterans, 144K veterans will know what I mean. Pull it through the core of Gaia. And this code from source, its natural light language, dissolves false code, all levels and forms of it, down to the subquantum level throughout the entire physical spectrum. Dissolving false code, and outwards we go. And all of Gaia, and all the way up to low Earth orbit, through the surface, down to subquantum level, let alone quantum and atomic level, rewriting code, all off-world forces assisting. Okay. Good. Hold. Now look over to your I am. Hod, oversoul, soul, one of the ships, spheres. See and feel their consciousness, their light working through your energy field. So this is all your higher density aspects. See your body light up. Again, there is no limitation literally. See your body light up, even in the physical. We're all connected to the rest of humanity, starting with family members, feel the teams work through you. And see it in whatever way works for you, from way up here or from the physical. This is the final touch. Because, well, let me not verbalize it. Again, your I am and the hard at a minimum, hold them in the background of your consciousness. And now zoom out. See your continent holographically. Okay, so indigo background, whatever works for you, with just a line, a basic outline, white or golden, whatever, of your country or continent, wherever you are. Now zoom out and see your whole continent, wherever you are. Ask the teams to help you and step aside and let go as if you don't care. Catch the image, no matter how faint it is, catch it, see it, because it's already being delivered to you by the right hemisphere or through the right hemisphere of your brain. Abstract works just as well. Feel and heal. Again, hold the teams in the background, at least the hard and I am at a minimum. Alrighty. All right. Now, you don't have to see them, but otherwise, repeat after me. Authentic Hod, authentic I am, soul over soul. All upper densities of I. All benevolent off-world forces. And authentic source. Scan every single physical human on this planet, both surface and underground. Scan and clear in a safe way. All quantum entanglement at all physical and non-physical levels, with all forms of darkness, physical and non-physical, quantum, subquantum, electromagnetic and plasma, all levels, with all darkness, consciousness, fields, technologies, safely end quantum entanglement. Now, see your continent, again, do whatever you want with background colors to differentiate. See your continent as dark gray or black. Holding intent of that dark gray or black representing every single human, primarily, but certainly not exclusively on the surface. So very 5D chess kind of thing, represented by the blackness. When you have that image, turn it white, that black image of your continent representing all quantum entanglement, all levels of all humans. Turn it white. Hold the white light. Again, change background colors of, I guess, the oceans. And now see the blackness in any neighboring continents. Representing all quantum entanglement of all humans at all levels. Off-world forces beaming away, helping us, working through us, let alone all that is. Don't have to see it perfectly at all. I'm moving over to Europe now, done the Americas, moving over to Europe. Turn it white, all quantum entanglement. Don't have to see it perfectly at all. All right. Now turn, so see all the continents, white. See all the oceans, a dark indigo. Hold. Hold. All that is now able to make that big decisive move courtesy of our connecting consciousness. Simon Parkes is a bit of a genius in my opinion, because consciousness, when it's utilized in the way that you and I are utilizing it, which is what we're here for on the physical, to project it from, that really is the connection for the upper densities and all that is to get in and do their thing. Hold for everything that you stand for everything that you are about, for love, for the restoration of truth and the intrinsic bliss that brings, to end this saga that has lasted for, oh God, certainly multiple billions of years. That's for sure. And C. All the continents lit up brightly in white light. And what this does is it kind of, I don't know, you ever seen like a tranquilizer kind of gun where it shoots one of those darts into a dangerous animal and it drugs the animal and the animal can't do anything and it sort of lies down and dozes off and it can't do anything. And then the veterinarians are able to get in there, do a quick surgery, sew a stitch or whatever, and then get the hell out. We're sort of doing that with the darkness. And for those for subscribers to Cobra, it's a lot more than just the lurker. It allows pretty much all that is Galactic Confederation, Intergalactic Confederation, Galactic Central Sun, Cosmic Central Sun, God knows what else is there of an extremely benevolent nature, let alone our collective I am, soul over soul, and the hard managers of all multiverses. Source. It allows them to get in here through our connecting consciousness, to get in, to do this rather delicate bomb diffusing kind of sweating bullets kind of surgery to finally resolve this quantum entanglement process that, to be honest, had us. It totally had us. Until now. So by holding the white light visual, even through basic, faint, abstract visual, that's the beauty of this. And, you know, one can only do this when projecting consciousness from the physical to the non-physical. Long story behind that phenomena. With the energetic properties of doing that, they can do disentangling. They can get in, figure out how to do it safely, and then do it without half the world's population committing suicide, then the other half feeling like they can commit, wanting to commit suicide. That's what we're dealing with here. This is one of the main basic reasons why planetary liberation has taken so damn long. Now, if you want to zoom out, again, see a general dark indigo background to distinguish between the white light that acts as like a buffer, like a tranquilizer for this darkness that we're entangled with. So your I am over the side, that's fundamentally omnipresent. You can see a couple of spherical ships of the galactic and or cosmic central sun races working away. Intergalactic Confederation ships, predominantly spheres that kind of look natural, well, they kind of are really, working away from within inner Earth and from within the atmosphere. Working away through and with and because of our consciousness. Meditate on this vision, on them getting in there, including the hearted I am, through us, because they need an access point. That's part of the whole point. They need an access point. You're it. And the rest of your 144K brethren. Without access point, there's no getting in for the upper densities. Can't get in. Through, they have to bypass the veil and darkness. That's, again, part and parcel of why we're here. As you hold vision on that glistening white light, neutralizing the darkness that we're quantum entangled with, so all the continents are lit up nice and white. Don't worry, New Zealand, we haven't forgotten you. Hold, meditate, forget about linear time. There is such a thing as advanced or elite special forces, if you will, of physical plane starseeds. Well, now you know you're it, whether you expected that or not, and this is what it's like. Alrighty. All right, all that is, have them in the background of your consciousness. See, hear, and feel them. All that is dissolving, gently transmuting, quantum entanglement. Feel a release, a letting go, a dissolving down to the atomic, quantum, subquantum level, a dissolving. See humans holographically, because it's all empty space anyway. Authentic hot, authentic I am, authentic galactic central sun races, all off-world races, dissolve quantum entanglement now. All right. Now see yourself, we're back up above all that is, holographically, your body holographically, see it, a white light appear from the center of your chest and see it expand, dissolving quantum entanglement. Now, return your omnipresent vision back to your continent. Hold the intent of full, complete quantum and atomic, and for that matter, subatomic disentanglement, dissolving, letting go, releasing. Wormholes mostly. You may catch a micro image of wormholes and some particles at the quantum level, just dissolving. And now see your part of your continent within the white light just dissolve and open up. So the white light, all off-world forces completing the disentanglement, because we were holding space at all levels, densities, but particularly all spectrum of the physical plane, electromagnetic, etc. and see this very deep kind of, it looked like a column because it goes deep, sort of lower atmosphere through you. Actually, no, it starts from you and expands outwards. I do apologize. So wherever you are now, expand, as if you can see yourself holographically expand the light from your chest, expand it out. See the white light disentangling by receding, leaving a blue, indigo, violet, magenta in its wake. Whatever works for you, but you can see yourself holographically. And now zoom out as the white light completes the process of disentangling, the expand. I'm going to say the receding white light. It's receding. So there's an expansion of whatever cleared space, disentangled space you chose, whether it was indigo or violet or magenta. Just expand from where you are. And now, so it's a sphere. And now zoom out and see the sphere expand rapidly, dissolving nearby physical humans in your proximity. And now zoom out all the way above your continent and see an expanding, or should I say, an expansion of the receding white light, because it's done its job. Galactic central sun, off-world forces assisting. And expanding throughout your part of the continent, and expanding, dissolving all quantum entanglement with all predominantly surface humanity. There's obviously a lot underground. And see that portion of your country or continent, the white light receding and leaving behind a cleared from all subquantum entanglement of all surface humans color, represented by whatever background color you chose to represent a cleared from all subquantum entanglement space, for lack of a better term. Again, very hard to verbalize, something that's hard to verbalize. Expand out and expand out. Disentangling in all surface humanity, disentangling. Your part of the world, disentangling. All light forces working with us. And now just see the white light throughout the continents, beginning with your continent, recede, dissolving, melting. Whatever continent you chose to start off with, dissolving. Dissolving. work through the continents, holding consciousness or intent on dissolving all quantum entanglement between all darkness and humanity. Dissolving. And just keep on going until you're done with all the continents. The white light receding, leaving in its wake a completely disentangled humanity, predominantly on the surface. Alrighty. And dissolve away, melting, melting, melting. Come from the love in your heart. And finish up as this was the closing act. Alrighty. Just making sure some islands are done. Alrighty, fantastic. We're done. To say well done is an understatement. I can go on forever as to how proud you ought to be. This was quite a crunch time and window of opportunity courtesy of the Eclipse. And given what needed to be done, there was no way known I could keep this mass meditation within 2 hours. Wasn't going to happen. So, for that, I ask for forgiveness. Zoom out, look over to the team. Thank the teams, the hot and I am, as always. Soul over soul, thank them. And and move white light through the holographic image of Gaia within a quarantine sphere, holding the intent to remove any energetic traces, just as a thin layer of security. And if you haven't already, return your senses back to the room that you're in. And needless to say, we're done. Again, given what was requested of us, given the extremely difficult task of not just doing what we did, but me verbalizing things that is very hard to verbalize. Yeah, took some time and effort. That's the way planetary liberation goes. If you want the fast and safe version, not the slow version, and truth be told, this is actually the fast version of planetary liberation, without most of humanity needing to drop their bodies, that is. Again, all that is, and humanity made a choice, and this is a choice that we chose. The best option, in other words. So well done. As always, leave your feedback, your input, your experience in the 144K Telegram chat. And well done to those of you, especially in the US and Canada. A big hats off to everyone. Walk away with pride and comfort, for that matter, peace of mind, that you did your part and said no to playing the waiting game, waiting to be rescued. Freedom almost never works that way. Time for Galactic family reunion. We sure as heck quickened it at a minimum. So be grateful and proud of that. Proud of yourself. Yes, I'm talking pride. This is your loving servant, the Unknown Light Warrior. See you on the Telegram chat. Love to hear from you. And it may still be rough until about the 20th. And then after that, it'll start to get better, because it's one pivotal, intense, breaking the stalemate kind of week here. So well done, beloved ones. Stay tuned, beloved ones. This is your loving servant signing off for now.